too raunchy here. Hello everybody, welcome back to Chill Vibes Only. Today we are going to be getting a little bit intimate here and talking about sex and orgasms and the female orgasm and my sexual experience growing up and what I've learned in the last few years while being sexually active and kind of exploring a little bit more of my body and different partners. This video is highly requested. It kind of stemmed from when I first posted about buying my first ever vibrator on Instagram. I got a lot of DMs from you guys talking about sex and orgasms and why is it so hard for women to have orgasms through penetration, and is something wrong with me, and if you had any tips or advice or what types of toys or vibrators I would recommend. And I just want to say a huge disclaimer, like, I am not a sex therapist. This is all me speaking just from personal experience and talking to my gynecologist and talking to my other girlfriends and talking to my doctor and talking to my therapist. This is just kind of information that I have learned through all of them and then through my own personal experiences as well. And I'm going to share that with you because I found I learned a lot about myself when other people talked openly about it and shared their experiences as well. So with that being said, I did want to talk in this video about the female orgasm and like how I learned to enjoy sex. So what I remember the first time I had sex, it lasted probably maybe like 30 seconds and it was very quick and I didn't really feel any sensations at all or anything that would be close to an orgasm. And I actually remember after it was over being like, saying to him, like, really, was that it? Like, can we go again? Like, I was so confused because I had heard all these kind of horror stories about you're gonna bleed, it's gonna be really painful, it's amazing. Like, the movies make sex seem like it is the best thing in the whole world, and I just don't think that's always true or factual, and I think the movies have a lot of acting in it and a lot of untruth to it. So my first sexual experience was actually quite bland, and I was very confused because I felt nothing. Like, I didn't even really feel any sensation. I definitely didn't have an orgasm. I didn't really feel any pain. I felt nothing, and I thought it was really quick and not like anything I thought it was supposed to be like. So I was super confused about sex growing up. I just really didn't understand what it was supposed to feel like. I think I got in my head a lot about it as well. Part two of kind of my sexual experience was I used to get a lot of UTIs as well. So I was having sex, especially with previous partners, I would be constantly thinking about, oh my god, I don't want to get a UTI, and going to the washroom right after I have sex. By the way, ladies, if you're watching this, you don't know that. Go to the washroom after you have sex. You don't want to get a UTI. Have a shower if possible. I was always in my head about it, and so sex was never something that was enjoyable to me. And I could never feel the sense of an orgasm or any sort of pleasure through penetration. The way I was having orgasm was just strictly through external clit stimulation, so either my boyfriend going down on me or me using my own hands to give myself an orgasm. So that's kind of how I just figured life was, and I thought I was broken and there's something wrong with me and I'm the only one who's not having great sex and something was weird or off, and that is not true, ladies. So the more I opened up about this and talked to my girlfriends and talked to my doctor and my gynecologist and said these kind of scary thoughts that had been in my head, the more I started to realize that that is completely normal, and there are so many other women out there who aren't having orgasms through penetration and that they need clit stimulation to have an orgasm. So that was like really, really reassuring for me. It kind of just put me in a more of an exploration mindset now when it came to sex, because I wanted to figure out if it was possible for me and different tips and tricks that they use to have an orgasm through penetration. So what I started doing a lot of was just research. I looked up a couple toys online. I decided to buy the womanizer because I heard about it through a podcast. The podcast was called How Come, which I highly recommend you listen to. It's really, really interesting, and they have a lot more stats and statistics about how many women orgasm actually through penetration, or what's going through your head when you have to have an orgasm, and just a lot more tips and tricks and strategies. This is more just me speaking again from my experience. But yeah, I listened to that podcast. What made me want to get the womanizer? That was the vibrator, my first ever vibrator that I bought at the age of 24, which now I'm like, when I talk to women, I said like, oh, I bought my first vibrator, they're like, oh my gosh, how have you never done this before? And you're gonna love it and blah, blah, blah. So if you haven't bought a vibrator yet, Buy one, it will change your life. I got the vibrator, and I was thankfully at the time with someone who was very much into making sure I was taken care of and to exploring that with me. And so it was through having that sex toy that I was actually able to start to have orgasms through penetration. Now, one thing I also want to note was it wasn't just the sex toy. I also had to make a mental shift in my head. So like I said before, I used to get a lot of UTIs, and when I was having sex, I found like I was thinking about that, which is not really a sexy thought, and I wasn't thinking about my body or how I felt, or I wasn't relaxed enough, if that's the right term, to allow myself to have an orgasm. And the way I came to realize that was because I do have orgasms sometimes in my sleep, and I think a lot of women do as well. So I would wake up and I wouldn't have touched myself at all, but I could have an orgasm simply just by using my brain to think about if someone was stimulating my clit, what that would feel like. So read up on sleep orgasms as well, guys, if you have them in your sleep, because if you do, that's a really powerful tool for you when you're having sex, because you can use the same, like relaxing your brain and thinking about stimulating those parts without actually touching them to feel like you're going to have an orgasm, and then potentially actually make you have an orgasm, which is what I did in order to have one. So vibrator is the first thing. So using that on your clit while you're having sex. The one I got was the womanizer. It's a tiny little one. I'll link it down below, but it's really great for when you're having sex because it's portable and it's small, and it does a really great job of stimulating your clit while your partner and you are engaging in penetrative sex. So I had to learn how to also relax my mind. So while I was having sex, I was trying to relax and think about those sensations instead of thinking about other external factors. Obviously, I stopped having UTIs, and I kind of found a way to avoid them, knock on wood. But that was a really, really big thing for me in order to finally start to enjoy sex and enjoy it with my partner. And so that's also another really big important thing, is to make sure that you're with someone and you're communicating openly with them. Do not fake orgasms, ladies. It's not doing anyone a favor. Talk to your partner, express these feelings to them, show them this video if you want, try out new things with them, and just be as open and honest as possible, because that's what's going to lead you to having better sex, at least in my opinion and my experience. My sex life has just like skyrocketed compared to how it was a few years ago, just because I was more open about it with people around me, and I learned more about my body and I researched it. I was more open with my partner. That is probably where I'm going to kind of tie up the end of this video. I just wanted to make one because I do know a lot of people reach out to me on Instagram and talk to me about it. I appreciate when people share their stories with me because it helps me learn and try out new things with my body. And yeah, so if you're not having orgasms through penetration, you're not alone. There are tons of women out there who also aren't doing that. It's normal. Two of the things I would try to help with that is A, get a vibrator and explore what makes you have an orgasm on your own first, and then try to bring those aspects into your sex life with your partner. And then 2, open and honest communication with your partner. So sharing with them exactly how you're feeling, what you need to feel relaxed and calm and supported by them, so you can both enjoy your sexual experience. And 3, try to relax the mind and focus on your body and not other external circumstances while you're having sex. So anyways, that's over for me. I hope you guys found this video somewhat helpful and not too rambly. If you have any questions, feel free to DM me or send me an email or message me. I'm more than happy to talk about it. And yeah, sex is a normal thing. Everybody does it. Everybody enjoys it. Well, not everybody does it, but sex is a really normal thing. I would think a lot of people in your life are doing it. Talk to people, talk to your mom, talk to your doctor, talk to your gynecologist, talk to your friends. Make it more open and more accessible of a conversation for everybody, and hopefully we can all start to improve our sex lives. All right, bye.